What's up guys, David here, and I am back with the most creative and original type of content, reacting to subreddits on Reddit. Now, I'm not one of those lazy YouTubers who just read random subreddits and laughs at everything, because unlike everyone else, I actually deliver value. At least I try to. Also, if you guys like the setup I have right here, please let me know in the comments below. Anyways, the subreddit I'm going to be looking at today is the SAT subreddit, aka the place where people flex their SAT scores, post cringy memes, and leak test answers. Wait, does it even count as leaking if everyone has already seen it? Yeah, I haven't looked at the subreddit for a very long time. Like, the last time I checked this was the last time I took the SAT, which was like 2 years ago. I am excited to see what people are up to today. So let's go. Alright, so I'm here on Reddit right now, so let's go ahead and search up the SAT subreddit. Okay, there we go. And I think, just like all my other videos, I'm gonna go ahead and filter it as new first, and then and then I'll go with hot, because that's usually where the more interesting subreddit Reddit threads are. So yeah, let's get going. All right, here's a good one. All right, let's start off with this. So is it possible to jump 200 points in 2 weeks? I got a 1270 on May 8th SAT and want to get 1400 plus for June. Tips. So now I don't think this is impossible. I mean, if this is the first time you've ever touched the SAT and you get a 1270, you'll probably be able to easily improve your score, since you probably made a bunch of careless mistakes, and just a little bit of practice and revision should get you to somewhere close to a 1400. However, if this is the score you've received after a couple practice tests and you studied your butt off, which I think is the case to this person, it may be a little bit more difficult, because at that point, you're not really just going to be studying some information, you're probably going to have to be learning some information as well, which is usually the more time-consuming part. So my best advice for this person is to prepare for the test on June, and then grind through the summer, and then take it in like September and October. Even if this person was an incoming senior, I still think this person would have plenty of time to prepare for the SAT, since most early decision deadlines for colleges are like in November, if I remember correctly. Alright, let's look for, I think I'm gonna go ahead and look for one more filtered as new, and then I'll go ahead and look for some hot ones. Alright, so how should I study for the November/December SAT? Hello, I just took the practice test and got a 1080, 540 on reading and writing, and 540 on math. Kinda bad in my parents and my point of view, and I'm looking to improve my score to a 1400 plus. I bought the College Panda SAT Math, Erica Meltzer reading, and the official SAT books. My sister told me to focus on finishing and mastering math first, since my strong suit is math in school, and then move on to English. I have no idea how to self-study and study for the SAT since I've never done it before. Any recommendations and tips? Thanks in advance. Yeah, a 540 in any section of the SAT is pretty awful, to be brutally honest. Most particularly in math. Now, my guess is this person is some freshman who is just introduced to the SAT and just decided to take that SAT just for, I guess, the experience. I don't know. Because I honestly find it rare for someone who's actually taken the SAT a couple times to get the exact same score on both sections. Now, if this is actually some freshman who has just been introduced to the SAT and got a 1080, I do believe that as long as this person remains consistent with his or her study schedule, a 1400 is definitely within the reach. And from my experience, I actually never used College Panda, but I've heard some bad things about it, so yeah. I don't think the book, or whichever book you use, really matters as long as you actually use the information inside of a book. Khan Academy is also a really good place to study for the SAT. And yeah, I do believe math should be this person's priority, since it's usually the easier subject in most people's eyes, and as this person mentioned, math is this person's stronger suit in school, so I think this person should easily be able to get a 750 on math and also work on the reading and writing. I was gonna filter the subreddit to hot after this, but I found a pretty good one that I think a lot of people are gonna have questions about, so I'm just gonna go react to this one. Alright, so any suggestions for reading material? I struggle with reading comprehension, and my tutor recommended me to read more over the summer. Any recommendations on what I should read that would prepare me well for the SAT? Alright, so let's get real here. Just about everyone struggles in the reading section, at least a little bit. Keyword, just about. Don't worry, book nerds, I did not forget about you. Now, as for a specific type of reading material, I honestly think it's kind of a waste of time looking for it, and you're probably just better off practicing more and more reading passages online. Because here's the thing, if you haven't noticed already, the SAT passages are written in a very particular style, which is usually not incorporated in book. Alright, so I think now is time for me to finally filter this subreddit to hot instead. Alright, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a math problem to show you guys I've actually taken the SAT and I'm not just some random poser. So, which of the following is equivalent to r to the power of 2/5 times the square root of r, where r is greater than 0, which I don't even think it really matters at this point. We're not gonna plug any numbers in. Alright, so the square root of r is actually equivalent to r to the power of 1/2. If you don't know already, that's something you should definitely know when you're actually taking SAT. So when you're multiplying a base with an exponent, you have to add the exponents together. So 2 out of 5 plus 1 out of 2, that should be 9 out of 10, right? So 2 out of 5 equals 4 out of 10, and then 1 out of 2 equals 5 out of 10. So if you add those two together, it should be 9 out of 10. So it should be r to the 9 out of 10th power. So yeah, I know I said that wrong, but yeah. So the answer should be D. This person got A. Did this person multiply? Even if you multiplied these two together, you still wouldn't have gotten 1 out of 5. You would have gotten 2 out of 5, right? Wait, no, yeah, you would have gotten 1 out of 5. Sorry. Yeah, you would have got, yeah, you did. So yeah, when you're multiplying a base with an exponent, make sure you add the exponent, not multiply. Yeah, that seems like a common mistake, and trust me, the SAT will definitely put the wrong answer there. All right, score dropped by 120 points. Dang. Needs serious advice. I just got my May 8th scores back and ended up getting 1210. Ooh, ouch. 570 on reading and writing and 640 on math. A couple weeks before my test, I got a 1330 on a practice test. A 700 on reading and writing and 630 on math. See, this just doesn't add up. How do you get a better reading and writing score on a practice SAT test as compared to math than a lower reading and writing score on the actual one? I just don't see how that adds up. At least unless you've actually used some extra time when you're taking a practice test, which is brutally stupid. Anyways, let's continue reading. I need to at least get a 1350 on my SATs for the colleges I'm looking for, and this really crushed my hopes and dreams. Come on, this is not, an SAT is not the end of the world, come on. I'm not going to give up though, because there's still time. Can someone tell me what I should do for the June 5th SAT? Maybe to get my original score back. I've done college panda math and have the college panda writing, but I haven't gone through it that much. I seriously need a better math score though, because I want to do STEM. I plan to take the August and October SAT as well, so I have all summer to do this too. Please, I need some direction because right now all I'm doing is Khan Academy and clearly that didn't help. Okay, I've actually mentioned this previously in this video. I don't think College Panda is very helpful. This is also repetitive, but I just don't see how someone goes from a 1330 to a 1210. Now, I'm just gonna assume that this person had a really bad day. I mean, if you don't really feel like reading anything, it definitely could throw you off. And that may be the reason why this person's score dropped so much, because there's only two things that can explain a 570 on a reading or writing section. It's either you don't know how to do it, or you don't feel like reading. It's probably door number 2. Anyways, if this person is able to get a 1330 on a practice test, I think a 1350 should be within reach. I personally think this person would just relax on the next test and take the next test like hypothetically it was a practice test. I think a 50-point boost is very likely. So if this person were to get a 1330 on a practice test, this person probably can get a 1380 on the actual test. Also, please excuse me, I cannot talk today, just like every other day. Alright, so we got another one. I think this one's someone complaining about the SAT. So this is disgusting. So literally everyone knew that the May 22nd International SAT was going to be a reuse of the August 2019 one. Days before the test, everyone memorized every goddamn question and answer from the August 19th test. So people went in and intentionally chose a couple of wrong answers so that the College Board doesn't suspect cheating. And who's gonna suffer from this behavior? Everyone who did not cheat. Everyone who chose to genuinely study for the test. Everyone who worked hard every day to get the score that would allow them to get into their dream universities. I'm one of those students, my brother is one of those students, my friends are some of those students. We worked and suffered this year, yet we are the ones who will be punished for not cheating, for not paying for the leak test, and for not associating with those who leaked the test. The curve will be harsh, very. Yeah, it would. That's what I hate about the SAT. It also seems like a dystopia where cheating and cutting corners are the only way to succeed. What are we supposed to do? How can we solve problems that we cannot control? Do we cheat? Is that what College Board wants? Is that what society wants? Is this the only way? It only seems like you either aim for perfection or cheat. This is just so deep, man. This person is deeply disappointed in these people. So yeah, if you were someone who cheated on the May 22nd SAT test because of the leaked scores, someone is deeply disappointed in you. I mean, I am too. Also, I have a question. College Board, why are you recycling tests? You make so much money from these tests. Why would you recycle it? Can you not afford to pay people to rewrite some questions? Like, if you're low on questions, I don't mind if you reuse a couple questions. Don't reuse the whole test. Like, you're literally asking people to cheat now. Now, I personally think this type of behavior is wrong. I mean, obviously, it's unfair for people who have actually studied for the SAT and decides to do it legitimately, like this person. However, it's really hard for me to actually blame the cheaters without blaming College Board first. When you give high school students the opportunity to cheat and cut corners, most of them will cheat. That's just the harsh reality of the toxic competition that goes with taking the SAT. So yes, I definitely feel for the people who have been unfairly penalized for not cheating, but at the end of the day, what can you do? Also, how do you memorize every single question from a test? Like, seriously, if you're smart enough to memorize that many test answers, you are probably smart enough to get the score you want the honest way. Alright, is it bad if I've gone through 4 official practice tests already? I know there's a limited amount, so I'm curious if this is normal. I did 2 the summer after freshman year, but I didn't study. Just did them to see where I was at, but looking back, 2 seems excessive. I'm now a sophomore and did 1 during spring break because I was planning on starting to study then, but things got busy at the end of the year. Now, since summer is starting, I plan on studying pretty hard during the break and will probably take at least 1 practice test every other week. Am I burning through them too fast, or will I be alright? I'll probably try to take it first semester of junior year, so if I need a retake, I can have it done before senior year. First of all, this person is definitely ahead of the game. Also, what's wrong with taking practice tests? I mean, there's tons of practice tests you can find online. 4 is not excessive at all. I mean, I personally probably have taken at least 10 practice tests for all I remember. So yes, I would not recommend you take a test every single week, because at that point you're just wasting your time. But I honestly don't think you should have a fear of how many practice tests you're taking. I mean, after all, practice makes perfect, right? Alright, let's react to a couple memes now. So, still don't understand where the money is going to if they aren't able to make new tests every day. Is this about the one in May, where the international one, where people were talking about it being a reused test? Anyways, let's look at this. Making new tests for each test day. Repeating an occasional writing or math question from a previous test. Oh, I love the SpongeBob reference. Copying a whole reading section from a different test. Oh man. Alright, this is actually kind of funny. Reusing an entire test. Yeah, this is definitely referring to the one in May, which I previously saw someone ranting about. And yeah, College Board, if you're watching this video, please do not reuse another test, alright? I'm disappointed in you. Alright, another meme. Alright, so is it just me? SAT math practice problem, and then they have a picture of Hulk. And an actual SAT math problem on the SAT. No, it is not just you. The math problem on the actual SAT is supposed to be easier than the one on the practice SAT. Otherwise, how is it supposed to help us? But I do agree, this is a lot more apparent on the math section. Alright, I think I have time for one more. Let's look for another meme, I guess. Based on a true story. Me with a 1590. That's great, congrats. My parents say if I studied a bit more, I could have gotten a 1600. Oh, come on. Classic Asian parents, but I don't think an Asian parent would even say this. Like, if I were to get a 1590, there was no way my parents would have said that. But I guess some Asian parents are just like that. I'm assuming this is a joke though, so yeah, I'm assuming this is just some they're saying it as a joke. I hope it is, at least. Anyways, that's all I have today. My question to you is, do you believe College Board should completely stop recycling questions to prevent cheating? This may sound like a really stupid question, but I don't think one question's that big of a deal, is it? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.